going to be the worst introduction in any of my videos, but if my teeth still look bad in this video, guess what? I brushed. So if they still look bad, I don't care. Let's move on from that conversation. Anyways, this is the top 16 Transformers of 2016. Now, if you guys do not know, it's kind of like this annual thing that started back in, like, what, 2013 or something like that, where we take a look at the top figures from that year. And the last two numbers of that year is the amount of figures we take a look at that are the good and best of that year, if that makes sense. Do you get it? So let's go ahead and take a look at my top 16 Transformers of 2016. Take note, this is my personal opinion. It's not about engineering or quality or anything like that. It's just figures that I personally like. So let's go on to number 16. Number 16 goes to the Transformers Custom, made by J-Poozer Animations. This is Overclock based on the Transformers Universe game. You guys probably know my opinion on Transformers Universe. I absolutely hate the fact that it was cancelled, but I guess it's better than constantly being delayed year and year and year after year after year after year. But with that said, they had some pretty cool designs going for it. And this is one of them. Now, this is based on the Overclock character, and it is a repaint from the Beast Hunters Knockout. So I want to thank J-Poozer Animations for this. This guy is awesome. Aww. Number 15 is probably cheating, because it's a custom by me, and it's of a character that hasn't really been seen in anything yet. This is Squeaks. It's a custom little figure that I made out of cardboard. And I just really like the design and character, and I think this is pretty cool. I like the little head, I like the little arms and everything with it, I like the little backpack that I gave it. I don't know, I really like it. Out of all the customs I have, this one beats everything because it's so cute. Look at that. Oh no! If you were to ask me about a year ago, when this mold was revealed, would you put this on your top 16 of 2016 list? I would say hell no, this mold looks like garbage. It made the list. Number 14 goes to R.E.D. Paralon. Surprisingly enough, it's actually pretty good. I love the Scorpion mode. The coloring on this guy is fantastic. It actually makes me want to get the Scorponok, and I didn't really want the Scorponok right away. I just thought it looked like crap, and I thought the legs would just be too loose and fiddly or something. I don't know, I just had a bad vibe with the legs, but actually it's pretty solid. It's not the most solid, but it's pretty solid. Cybertron Hightail is one of the worst toys ever made! Number 13 is gonna piss some people off. Why? Because technically this is about 5 figures into one, but it's mainly the one thing that's included with this that actually makes the list. And 2, because the Combiner Wars version didn't make the list. This is the Fall of Cybertron Bruticus with the Boosticus set. Now, I know I could have got the Micro Blaze kit. Why did I go for the Boosticus set when I could have gone for the Micro Blaze kit? Well, the reason why is because when I got this Bruticus, it came with the Boosticus kit. And it was on for a good deal, so I didn't pass that up. I don't usually buy third-party stuff because it's kind of expensive. But I decided to sell for this. Why? Well, again, it comes with the Boosticus kit, and I never owned this toy. And you know what? The Boosticus kit really helps. I don't think this figure would have made the list if it wasn't for that Boosticus kit. Yeah. Number 12 on my list, I can't really put to words because I'm not even sure why it's on my list, but somehow it made it to number 12. This isn't about engineering, this is about what figures I like the most, and I seem to have a lot of fun with this toy. It's the Robots in Disguise Jazz figure. Mainly the Takara one, which, by the way, I'd recommend getting the Takara one, whether you get the 2-pack or not, because the paint scheme on this is actually more accurate to the Hasbro one. The Hasbro one actually gets stuff wrong compared to this. But, yeah, I'm not sure why. I have a lot of fun with this. It's a pretty good toy. You know, it's solid. It doesn't have much going for it, but it doesn't really mess up either. I really like it. Baby is dead! Finally getting into the world of Chug figures, number 11 goes to Transformers Reveal the Shields Grapple. I mean, look at him. Look at him. I know there's a Masterpiece version of Grapple coming out, but you know what? I don't feel the need to get him because I think this is pretty good. I think if you have the Inferno or Grapple, that's a pretty good stand-in for a Masterpiece Grapple and Inferno, except for the scale, of course. But this guy looks so good. I love the design, I love the detail, the transformation is actually a lot of fun. I do have a few issues with it, but that's okay. I think he looks good and stands out.
Here's a little lesson in trickery.
Getting into the top 10 is Robots in Disguise Drift. Thank you, MikeMouse74, for this guy, because he is freaking awesome. Just like Jazz, yeah, he's kind of basic, but that doesn't mean he has any engineering flaws. I mean, at least for the majority of the figure. I'm pretty sure there's things you can nitpick on this figure, but you know what? I love him. I think he looks fantastic. He's got a cool design. And you know what? For the toy, I think it works, so this was something that I really wanted from Robots in Disguise, and I'm so glad I got it.
Oh my god!
If you remember from my top 5 list of Transformers Robots in Disguise figures from 2016, this guy actually made the #1 spot. Funny enough, in this list, there is an RID figure that came out in 2016 that actually tops it. I'll explain later on, but it's Megatronus. This guy just looks so good. He is fantastic, and he really doesn't mess up. I like the design, I love the tank mode, the transformation is actually a little bit of fun, and he's got some pretty cool weapons. You know, he's got fusion cannons on both arms, which is pretty awesome, and I just love this guy. He looks very good. My only complaint is that he's not taller, but given that it's a Warrior Class lineup series thing that they're going for, like the Generations were all deluxes for a while, I can understand.
Oh.
At number 7 and number 8, I was kind of going back and forth between the two, but finally I settled on this. Number 8 goes to Highbrow. Highbrow is actually very, very good. I like the design, and I love the fact that he's a remold of Scourge, or at least he shares parts from Scourge, but he's definitely a different figure. I love the fact that there's actually more to Scourge in this than I thought there was going to be originally. But you know what? He is definitely his own figure. And I love this guy. I really do. And that's coming from a guy that didn't really care about Highbrow to start. I think he looks good. Number 7 goes to Titans Returns Chrome Dome, which is obviously inspired for the mold and design by Combiner Wars Dead End. Don't know where everyone's getting breakdown from, but okay. Anyways, this guy is so cool. I love his design, his look, his aesthetic. I think it looks fantastic. And this is actually a character I wanted them to do for a long time. Yeah, I know there's like a collector's club version of him that was a repaint of Wheeljack. Yeah, that's expensive to get. So I'm gonna sell for this, and I think this is pretty good.
Did you drink my Mountain Dew? Let me smell your breath.
Number 6 would have probably been higher on my list if I got it for a better price. This is Combiner Wars Groove. This guy just looks fantastic. His aesthetic, his engineering is so gorgeous. I love the weapons, I love the alt mode, and you know what? As a leg, he actually fits in pretty well. Even though he's a motorbike and the other leg is a car, that's kind of weird, but I don't care. I think the aesthetic really makes up for it. This guy is so good. Again, the only reason why he's not higher on this list is because I paid so much for this figure. More so than I think I should have paid. But you know what? This guy's pretty cool nonetheless. I'm glad to have him.
Yay!
Thank you to the Lazy Eyebrow Reviewer for selling this to me. This is Combiner Wars Ultra Magnus. And keep in mind, I do not regret my purchase. There is a bunch of flaws with this guy, which definitely brings him down on this list. This guy would probably made like number 2 or 3. But you know what? He's still pretty cool. This is a figure that I wanted for a long ass time. I mean, look at his design and aesthetic. That's IDW as shit! This guy is so cool. I love him. He's gorgeous. His alt mode is great. He's got a lot of detail that could have been picked out in paint, but then again, that would probably desaturate the red and blue and white, so probably best that they didn't pick that out, but he's still fantastic. I love his design. Don't really care for Minimus, though. I don't put him in the chest because I feel like his legs are going to tear when I pop it out. But nonetheless, this is pretty cool.
Shit!
Number 4 on my list goes to Titans Returns Highbrow. That's not Highbrow. This is Hardhead. I gotta remember that. Thank you. Anyways, Hardhead is so cool. This was my introduction to the Titans Returns lineup, and man, what an introduction. I think he's pretty cool and snazzy. I love his head. I love the Headmaster gimmick. I think he's so cool, and Hardhead was always my favorite out of the four in the group, so this is pretty cool.
Oh shit, what up?
Alright, I made a top 5 list of Transformers Robots in Disguise figures from 2016 a while back, and in this list I said that Megatronus was number whatever, and this guy was higher on the list. Meanwhile, on the top 5 list, it went the other way around. Well, on that list, it was mainly my recommended figures, but this guy I really love. I love him more compared to Megatronus. This is Robots in Disguise Fracture. He's so cool. Like, he just screams badass Decepticon. I love his weapon. The only problem that I really have with the figure is that the purple doesn't really match in places, so it's kind of weird. But nonetheless, this guy is pretty cool. Very simple to transform, but you know what? I love him nonetheless. Great articulation, great design. He looks so good. Every time I think of myself, I die a little inside. Congratulations to the Fearsome Foursome. They made the list. Every single one of them made the list. And finally, we have Titans Returns Brainstorm. Thank you to Larry Arts Production for sending me this figure. This guy is so fantastic. I love his design. And guess what? He made me want to get Blur. I didn't really want Blur, but he made me want to get Blur. This is so good. Just such a nice design. I know some people are going to scream, well, the Generations Voyager one is so much better than this. Well, I don't have that, so this will do, and you know what? For a figure that will just do, this is pretty good. I like it. I love the Headmaster. I love its color scheme. I think his alt mode is fine. And just, God, he is so cool. The one thing I'm pissed out... what am I saying? The one thing that I'm pissed off about is the fact that it's a Walgreens exclusive. But I've been on and on about that, so let's just move on to the number 1!
Oh shit, a dead boy!
Number 1 is a figure that I wanted them to do for such a long time, and finally they did it. It's the Battlemaster's Barricade. Okay, no, it's not. Number 1 is a figure that I wanted them to do for such a long time, and I'm so glad that they finally did it. Now, I know you can get the third-party versions of this, but I wanted to get the official version, because it was the official version. It was him. We finally got the character that I wanted them to do for such a long time. I did pay a little much for this guy, but you know what? I don't regret my purchase. If you guys know me, you guys know exactly why this figure is on my list. And the only reason that I can see you not thinking that this guy would be on my list is that you completely forgot that I got this in 2016. It's the Masterpiece Shockwave. This guy is my favorite figure of 2016 because I love the crap out of Shockwave. He is my favorite character in Transformers. He is scary, he's evil, but he's a scientist, and that's probably like the scariest thing. He uses his mind, his thinks. He uses that. And you know what? This guy looks so good. He doesn't show emotion. And you know what? I can see that on the face. He looks so good with this single eye and his laser gun and everything. He looks like the Generation 1 Shockwave. And that's the reason why I got this. Is because this looks like the Generation 1 Shockwave. It looks like it came out straight from the cartoon. And also, it's the official version. They finally did it. That's why I love this thing. And I am so glad that I picked this up. This guy is so cool, and I love him. So with that out of the way, that is my top 16 Transformers of 2016. What is yours? Do you agree with me or disagree? Comment below or do your own video. I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, and all those fun doodads. Check out Transformers fan page on Facebook, and I will see you guys next time. Shockwave Bomb!